Stanza 1. It is related that Ghiyasuddin Purabi, who succeeded his father to the throne of Bengal in the year 1367, fell sick. During his illness, he was nursed by 3 faithful handmaidens, whose names were Cypress, Tulip, and Rose. And owing to their care, he eventually recovered. The rest of the Sultan's ladies were jealous of the gratitude that the 3 maidens had earned from Ghiyasuddin and nicknamed them contemptuously the 3 bath women, because they had washed the king's body while he was ill. So good, supportive, helpful women, that's whatever. I mean, that's not the context, but he therefore determined to do them honor by commemorating their devotion in a poem. And to this end, he composed the first line of a couplet and ordered the poets of his court to complete the ode. The line ran thus: Saki Hadisi Sarvo Gul o Ale Miravad, cupbearer. A tale runs of a cypress, a rose, and a tulip, but the poets were unable to perform the task to the king's satisfaction, and at length someone suggested that the line should be sent to Hafiz of Shiraz, the fame of whose great skill had reached Bengal, and this was accordingly done. But Hafiz composed the ode here translated, with which the Sultan, whose taste seems to have turned towards the discursive in poetry, was much delighted. The 3 cups of wine are an allusion to the 3 maidens who washed the king's body. The parrots of India are the court poets of Ghiyasuddin, and the Persian sweetmeat is the ode the Hafiz sent to Bengal. Stanza 4. Samir al-Samri belonged, say, Muslimin. Well, the ancient Egyptian would say that he was a caravan leader, or at least that's what the title meant, to a certain tribe among the Jews called the Samaritans, hence his name. In this, the Muslimin strangely betray their ignorance of history, for the Samaritans were not formed into a people, nor did they bear that name until many ages later. No, again, there's perhaps the commentators make the issue, but yeah. This is a non-issue if you're just referring to the Quran and the Hadith. Some say he was a proselyte, but a hypocritical one, and originally of Kerman or some other country. His real name was Musa ibn Dhafar. He was some magician and an alchemist. Pharaoh employed him as a rival to Moses, but the later worked miracles with his hand and his staff. But al-Samari was unable to show wonders as great as those performed by Moses. It was he and not Aaron, according to Muslim tradition, who cast the golden calf. The calf was made with the ornaments of gold and silver and other materials, whom the Israelites had borrowed from the Egyptians. Well, stole from the Egyptians according to the Bible, but for Aaron, who commanded in his brother's absence, having ordered al-Samari to collect those ornaments from the people who carried on a wicked commerce with them, and to keep them together till the return of Moses. Al-Samari, understanding the founder's art, put them all together into a furnace to melt them down into one mass, which came out in the form of a calf. The Israelites, accustomed to the Egyptian idolatry, paying a religious worship to this image, al-Samari went further and took some dust from the footsteps of the horse of the angel Gabriel. Again, when we talk about mystic steeds and stuff like this, we're not talking that we believe in flying horses, and that's not what we're saying. Who marched at the head of the people and threw into the mouth of the calf, which immediately began to glow and became animated, for such was the virtue of that dust. And there's notes to the 2nd and 22nd chapters of the Quran. Al-Samari is mentioned by name in the 22nd chapter of the Quran. Al-Samari led them astray. Now, if the Bible doesn't say that something happens to a point, history has looked into certain things said in the Bible and in Judeo-Christian tradition that actually jumbles when history happens. Some things they list as happening centuries beforehand, some things centuries after, and some things the order is mixed up. So again, we can't say, well, the Bible doesn't talk about the Samaritans until centuries later in the account. It doesn't mean there weren't people that the ancient Egyptians knew about before the period when Moses was to be.